I hope this is working. We'll see. So, welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. So, I got a question from Patrick. It says, are owners ever required by the housing court judge to return the rent paid by the tenant when it is determined that it was an illegal apartment? If so, how far back? I'm going to change the name. How do the housing courts view? Okay. So a couple things. First of all, in my area in Long Island, there are a lot of illegal units. A lot. There are certain cities, which I shall not mention, where you'll go past a single family and there will be 3 or 4 mailboxes, right? I used to own a single family that had 3 units on it. Basement, first floor, second floor. Very common. As I say that, I will say that the municipalities that exist loathe illegal units. They loathe them to such an extent that over the last 10 to 20 years, a lot of these places have required rental permits, even if it's a single family that you're renting out to one family, or if you own a 2-family, you're required to have a rental permit. In fact, I just bought something in Island Park, a legal 2-family, and there was a violation that there wasn't a rental permit on it. Now think about this. The owner had his family living in the second unit, completely legal, and they gave him a violation for it. Now, so much so that when you get a new building permit, and I've gotten building permits, you're building something from scratch, you need to clearly state that the basement is unfinished and that there's no separate entrance to it, because they don't want you to ever finish it and ever put somebody in there. Now, from their altruistic, usually absurd viewpoints, they're looking at, well, people put basement tenants in there and then somebody dies. And yeah, every 10 years, somebody dies in a basement tenant. But guess what? Every 3 years, somebody dies on the first floor or the second floor of a house. So I think it's absurd, right? I think that in general, the local municipalities anywhere, their attitude towards rentals is deathly, right? In our area, absurd. There's a housing shortage and no one can build rentals. I think it's pathetic. And I guess the thinking behind it is that renters are transient. They may not even register to vote, so we don't care. They take up, they cause traffic. They take up our parking spots. They put their kids in school. They use the sewers, and they don't even vote. They're not really constituents. They're not rock solid to the community. It's complete bullshit. This area probably needs 100,000 additional rental units in the next year, and would probably all be filled. So, how do the courts look at it? So, I will tell you from firsthand experience that I've done a lot of evictions myself. So, just to go back and how we discussed yesterday's video about how evictions work. If you own a property in your own name, you can do your eviction yourself. And when I did this in the beginning, starting 2004, I owned rental properties in my own name. I did my own evictions. So there was one judge there for really the entire Nassau County, except the city of Long Beach and the city of Glen Cove, and his position was, I don't give a crap if it's illegal, right? But if it is illegal, I'm either giving you a monetary award or I'm giving you a warrant for possession, which means an eviction. 999 out of 10,000. Out of 1,000 times, you just want the tenant out. But he was like, I'm not the building department. I don't care. So now the question here from Patrick is, are they ever required a housing court judge to return the rent? I would say I've never seen anything like that in my life, but I have no idea where you are, Patrick, or who you're asking about. So if you're in an area where something is crazy like that, or you want an area, you should call the local housing court and say to them, I'm thinking about buying a property that has an illegal unit. They may say, what's the address? Don't give it to them. And say, I'm just curious though, if I have to evict somebody, am I gonna have to return the money that was paid to me? I can't imagine that a court would ever require you to do that. Now, there are a lot of people, misguided landlords, who believe you should not get a lease on an illegal apartment because then they'll have proof that you're renting illegally. Guess what? No one gives a crap about the proof, right? All it takes is one upset tenant or one upset neighbor, and you will say, hey, I think they have somebody living in the basement, or I think they have an illegal unit there. And you will be approached by somebody. It makes no difference if there's a lease or not. It's very easy for them to prove that it's happening, and it's very hard for you to prove it's not happening, right? But my thoughts on illegal units in general are, if they make a deal happen, I have no problem with them, right? Should you have 2 ways of egress? Sure. Make an egress window or make a back door, whoop-de-doo, in your basement. It's fine. But if you get caught, understand that what you have to do is simply take the cooking situation out of there, make sure there's entrance to the other unit, and then after they approve you and clear you of the violation, you can do it again. But again, you're always one upset tenant or one upset neighbor away from getting caught. If you have a problem, if you're not gonna sleep at night because of it, then don't rent illegal units. I have no problem with it. I slept like a baby for many years when I did it. I don't do it now, but I think it makes a lot of sense. And I can tell you, stupid crap. And I can tell you that that I very often have bought properties, and the one of the biggest selling points is that we have an outside separate entrance for the basement, and if you want to rent it out, you can. For some people, getting a basement they can rent for $1,500, $1,800, even $1,000 a month is going to be the difference between them feeling comfortable about paying their mortgage or not. So I have no problem with it, right? And I'm happy to debate the pros and cons of it, right? I understand that there is a minor risk of a landlord taking advantage and people burning up to death and children dying. I understand that. But the fact is that there is a tremendous housing shortage. We don't have an ADU, right? What additional additional dwelling unit, like you can do in so many places. Like in California, you can take your garage and turn it into a dwelling unit tomorrow, no problem. I don't even know if you need a permit for it. And we have nothing like that. If you take a garage, and I've bought houses with garages that were turned into ADUs, and everybody's terrified about it, and it's absurd. I'm sorry, it's absurd. And the way the municipalities look at it as well, the plumbing may not be right, and this may blow up, and the electrical might not be right, and they may burn down. So inspect it, but give people a chance to let their adult kid live there by himself for a little bit. What is the problem, right? You own the property. Why shouldn't you be able to do what you want with it? I'm sorry, the whole thing is stupid to me. And there's so many major municipalities in this country who look at the rules that we accept in Long Island or New York City as gospel, and they look at them and they're absurd, and they are absurd. They absolutely are absurd. I'm sorry. Okay, if you want to tell me you can rent your basement, just put in an egress window. Sure. Guess what? There'll be a lot more egress window companies, and for a couple $1,000s, you put in an extra way out. It's not about that. It's about control, and it's about reducing the rental population, and I think it's complete bullshit. But I can't imagine ever what you asked, Patrick. I can't imagine that they'll ever ask you to bring the money back. But I don't know. I don't know where you're writing from. You could be in Topeka, Kansas. I really don't know. So you got to call them. Don't ask me these questions. I can tell you by me, it's never going to happen. Right? The tenant's never going to show up and go, it's illegal. I want all my money back. And the judge's going to go, sure. How much was it? Never. Right? You as a landlord, if you're the owner of the property, you are the one trying to collect money or trying to evict. There is no countersuit unless you do something wrong that's deemed illegal, like turning the utilities off when you don't have a right to, like locking them out. Though that's a problem. So I can't imagine happening, but you have to speak to your local municipality in the housing court there. Asking me when I have no idea what you're talking about, when I know where you're calling from, is a little missing some information that I might need to know. If you're telling me in Nassau and Suffolk, never. New York City, no. No. It's not, right? In New York City, I know that there are some judges that are so anti-illegal units that they cause more delays, right? But people say, oh, you can't evict from an illegal unit. It's absolutely not true. Think about how crazy that sounds. I buy a property. I didn't know there's a illegal unit. I thought it was legal. Now I can't ever evict a person, ever. They stay there forever. It's ridiculous. Now, I personally think in New York City right now, since we're coming off the moratorium, which was January 15th, 2022, it's over a year ago, we still have a huge backlog because New York is the worst state in the country with nothing even close to it in the length of time it takes to foreclose or to evict. And it can probably take 2 years in New York to evict. It's taking 6 or 7 months in Nassau County now. It's a long time. It's longer than it should. It's 8 months. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com or learntoflip@wholesale.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching any media, other channels, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help the algorithm. A lot more people have been seeing my videos. And the purpose of this whole channel is to answer your questions. So please keep the comments coming with as many questions as you have. If it's a simple answer, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something I've covered very recently, I'll send you a link to a video or maybe multiple videos on that. I just sent 3 videos to somebody who's asking me about making offers. And And if it's something that I haven't covered in a while or that I've never covered before, this was a question I've never seen before, I will do a brand new video on it. So I really appreciate all your comments. The comment, you can ask a question about anything. It does not have to be about the video you're watching. Thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.